Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Dewan with the Region Sports Network, reporting from New Prairie High School for another 100-yard walk, this time with the head football coach of New Prairie. It is Ryan O'Shea. Coach, how we doing?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Thanks for having us out, Coach. Football season's upon us. How has the summer kind of treated you, at least that first half of summer? Because I know it's kind of post-moratorium week here now.
Good. We got a lot of kids out that are pretty excited about where the direction we're headed. We got a lot of new leaders that are showing up right now, and then they're working really hard. And the guys that are showing up and the guys who are putting in the work are going to see those results in the fall.
Yeah, and Coach, well, let's talk about year one for you, which was last year. It was again, a kind of a shaky, a rocky start, as you kind of see maybe in year ones with coaches, right? Kind of getting your feet acclimated and whatnot, but turning it around a little bit towards the end. Again, those leaders kind of really stepped up, kind of from that group. So, what could you kind of say, I guess, about year one?
Yeah,
Here in
you
New Prairie?
kind of hit the nail on the head there. First few games were a little rough. I just think people were still getting used, and players still getting used to me, and I was getting used to them, and they were, just seeing what we do as far as culture-wise, and you saw in the second half of the year, we won 3 of our last 4 and going into the playoffs, and those kids really worked hard and fought through the stuff that we went through in the beginning of the year, and then they started to see the results of that, and they started to really buy in. So we're hoping to carry that over in this year.
I read somewhere online that about halfway through the season, kind of when you were going through kind of one of those tough batches, you kind of turned to some of your Indiana Football Hall of Fame relatives, right?
Sure.
Those coaches that kind of in your corner. What was, I guess, that kind of dynamic like, and not only kind of in that moment where you could turn to those guys for support, but just kind of being in a football family household that understands, kind of like in this game, and kind of what it takes to succeed.
Well, obviously having my dad, and my grandpa to help me out is a huge resource, something that not a lot of coaches have. There's a few in this area that have Hall of Fame fathers, including our baseball coach here, Coach Schlinger, and the leaning on those guys is a huge, mental boost for me, as far as it's not always going to be this dark. It's darkest before the light in those, so they reminded me of that. And just getting back to the roots of things, just making sure we're not overcomplicating things, getting back to basics, making sure that we're really good at a few things, and not trying to be good at everything.
What's that relationship kind of like? I mean, is there a good amount of constructive criticism? Is it something that kind of grows over time? What could you kind of share about how things kind of go during a season when you're asking, kind of brainstorming, asking for help or whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I lean on my staff here a lot. They're very knowledgeable, been around for a long time, and those guys really know football and they know what they're doing. So I lean on them obviously the most because they're around the kids the most, and those adjustments. But as far as just being a head coach and understanding how to handle a team, how to handle adversity, things like that, those are the stuff that I go to my dad and my grandpa about it. Those guys have been through it all. They've been coaching for a really long time. My dad, I think, is on his 38th year. My grandpa's been coaching for, I think, 60 years now. So it's one of those things where, again, it's more of the administrative side and more of the mental side than it is the X's and O's thing. And it's more of like, hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? What have you done before? Just kind of bouncing ideas off and saying, hey, I think this is a good idea. And then he's one of those that goes, no, actually, it's not a very good idea at all. So it's really nice to have and try not make those mistakes that they made back when they were a young coach like me.
Talking a little bit about you, Coach, what was kind of your coaching origin story? Yes, we're going to talk a lot more about just New Prairie, but again, obviously coming through the coaching background, the family background, what reached out to you about coaching and leading a group of men?
Well, I first started when I was in college. I played football at Valpo for 2 seasons, and then things didn't work out there, and ended up at Ball State and got into coaching there. One of my dad's former coaches that he had at Delta High School took over at Monroe Central, and so I started coaching when I was just 20, and so it's been 16 years now since I've been coaching. So I wasn't a head coach obviously then, but just being around the guys and just having that camaraderie and having something to live for and something to strive for every Friday night. That's something that keeps you going as a person. I found out that life's one of those things where you have to have something that you're aiming for, something that you're living for, or to make yourself a better person. And that's where I got drawn in. Dad tried to steer me away a little bit because hey, coaching is not for everybody. It's not something that you can just jump into and be like, yeah, I'm going to coach. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of being away from home. that stinks with, having 4 kids my own at home, and my wife is very understanding about that stuff, and she's been around. We've been together 15 years now, so she gets it. But it's one of those things where he wanted to make sure that I was all the way in on it, and that I just wasn't doing it because he told me to, or it's something that he did, so now I have to do it. It's one of those things where he wanted me to be bought into this profession for the right reasons, and not just because it was here. That really steered me the right way, and helped me develop as a coach, and helped me develop those relationships with those players and other coaches around the area. And without them, I wouldn't be here today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Coach, about going into now year 2 with this program, what are some noticeable changes, or kind of, I guess, the big difference between, again, year 1 trying to implement kind of your culture, while year 2 now, year under your belt?
So year 2 has been a little smoother as far as like implementing things. Kids understand how I coach, understand our verbiage. So that kind of stuff is a little bit smoother. They understand where I'm coming from as a coach. They understand that I care about them, not just that I am coming in here and just trying to boss them around. That's not what we're about. But again, it's been a little smoother, but at times, you got to make those adjustments, and you got to make those things going into year 2 that other teams see on film. So we're trying to put some wrinkles in and trying to make ourselves better.
All right, we're trying to eyeball every single line we cross here today. So we're going to call this the 50. Coach, this is a new chapter, right, in kind of your football life. We talked about kind of your origin story and the football-riddled family that you guys are. But this chapter, what can you say about kind of a year and some change here at New Prairie High School?
Just the overall coming to a different school and trying to do things in my way rather than trying to do what everybody else wants me to do. That's kind of the thing that's been different here, definitely going to year 2. But I mean, as far as New Prairie goes, and as far as this community goes, it's an awesome football community. It's an awesome community just in general. It's got a great school. Our school does a great job as far as teaching our kids. Our kids work really hard. They're blue-collar kids who want to do well and want to please everybody, and want this school to be the best that it can be. And so as far as the adjustments going from year 2, and then obviously now being here at New Prairie, this is a great place to be, and I love being here. We moved out here. This is home for us. And luckily for me, it even goes even deeper with my grandfather going to New Carlisle High School back in the 50s. And so it's home, and that's what I want this to be, and that's what I want our kids to understand. That's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. This is forever.
Get Pulse Technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Strack and Van Til for the win with 4 ways to save. Catch price drops on over 15,000 items and check the weekly ad for can't miss deals. Stack on the rewards program for digital coupons, points toward discounts and free products, and power up with our own brands. Keep your budget in the safety zone. Get the same great taste as national labels at lower prices. If you can't taste the difference, why pay the difference? Score big value with 4 ways to save at Strack and Van Til.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero. Crowell Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
That's well said, Coach. About those kids come 2026, who are maybe some players or position groups that you might be expected to lean on come this fall?
So we've got a few kids back. We got a lot of kids back on defense, and so our defense this year is going to be young. Yes, we're going to be young everywhere, just like we were last year.
Yeah.
You know, those sophomores are now going to be juniors, so we're still going to be a little bit young. But so a couple kids we're going to lean on. Ethan Meckling at linebacker, he's going to be a good leader for us. We're going to lean on Luis Cruz on the defensive line. He's going to be really good for us. He was an all-conference kid last year. So defensively, those two definitely going to lead us. Braden Kaminsky is going to be another kid that we're going to lean on to help us out. He missed most of last year with an injury, and so he's back and he's ready to go. We're going to move Charlie Luskowski to quarterback from receiver. He's been an excellent leader for us in the locker room. And he's a kid that's going to be a breakout kid. And then obviously Lucas Halderman at running back. He's back last year, about halfway through the year. We found that he can run the ball really well, and he's a pretty good player. So like having him around. And then up front, Lee Atherton and Tyler Pranger are going to anchor our offensive line, and they're going to be somebody that both those kids are going to be 3-year starters, if not 4-year starters, and they're going to really lead us up front. And so if they have a good year and pieces come together, I think we'd be pretty potent on both sides of the ball.
Awesome. Any upcoming plans for this kind of latter half of the summer season?
Nothing major, just trying to get better every day. And that's the thing that we're trying to convey to the kids. It's like, hey, show up, get better every single day. Try to put in the work, and then you'll see it in the fall.
What about, we could talk a little bit more about the schedule kind of when the season comes along. Obviously, that week one matchup, not too far from here. You guys take on a big-time rival. The conference is always pretty tough, some very good opponents in that 4A sectional especially. What can you kind of say about the schedule, all kind of encapsulated in an answer?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, in one word, it's tough. And we wouldn't want to have it any other way. We don't want something easy. We don't want something that's given to us. We want to earn it. And our schedule is going to definitely make us do that. You know, start off week one with LaPorte. It's always a tough game with being a rivalry, and our kids are always excited for that. And then Northwood week 2, they're always a tough team. And St. Joe week 3, I mean, there's no weeks off. And so then once you get to the latter half of the season, you're playing Elkhart, you're playing Penn, you're playing some really good football teams. And then you go to the sectional, and in my opinion is the best sectional in the state in 4A, especially the northern half of the state, with all those really good ball clubs, Mishawaka and Northridge, and Northwood again. We'd possibly see them again, and it's a great sectional. Whoever comes out of that's going to be really battle tested and be ready to make a run at the Dome for sure.
You guys will be battle tested before you even get to sectional, right? As you were saying. Any goals that may have been set by the consensus of your players, or maybe any goals that you've already kind of set out for your guys?
Well, just trying to again get better every single day, and that's just one of those where we can't have a mentality of we're just going to be out here and just go through the motions. We got to have a mentality of we're out here, we're going to make it count, and we're going to do something special that nobody expects from us.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors, Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work, you're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
All right, we will call this the red zone, Coach. Let's get it started with the rapid fire. Got to know a little bit more about you. Favorite piece of advice that you've received that you live by today?
Just don't take anything personally. That's the biggest thing that I probably have learned from my dad. And it's like, this business is tough as far as coaching. We talked about that earlier. Don't take anything personally and just keep doing what you think is the right thing every single day. That's a big thing that he's taught me.
Seems like you've been born with a football, so I'm sure you have a lot of these, but favorite football memory?
Oh, man. Being on the staff in 2015 is probably my favorite. I coached with my dad, my uncle, and my grandpa. We were all on the same staff. My dad, head coach, my uncle was the defense coordinator, and then my grandpa was the O-line coach at the 2015 Lafayette Central Catholic State Championship team. So that's probably my favorite football memory as far as being an adult. As far as being when I was in high school, my favorite memory was my senior night. I got my dad his 100th win. And so
Wow.
it was, and I went 9 for 9 with 4 touchdowns and about 200 yards passing. So that was a special night too.
All right, favorite football player growing up?
Peyton Manning, for sure.
The Sheriff. All right, then what about favorite football team?
It was
professional and college.
Well,
Colts?
professional would be the Colts.
Yeah.
Growing up in Lafayette, I was just an hour from Indianapolis. When I was 8 years old when Peyton Manning got drafted, and so I was right in the thick of that fandom and that group. And remain fans. I still remain a Colts fan to this day, as any loyal football fan probably does.
Sure.
So as far as college goes, that's got to be Notre Dame. My wife worked in Notre Dame for a few years. I grew up, my grandparents grew up in this area, and so kind of took a liking to Notre Dame probably from a young age. Even though I was in West Lafayette, it kind of didn't really take roots.
Right.
Those Drew Brees era it was a lot of fun watching those Purdue Boilermaker football teams. But as far as deep-rooted fandom, it's got to be Notre Dame.
A lot of great quarterbacks riddled throughout this state. Give me a couple artists or genres maybe that would be on your pregame playlist.
As far as music goes, I'm not a huge music person. I'm more of a podcast guy. But if it's something where I'm studying film or I'm just sitting there, just chilling, trying to get some work done. I mean, it's probably got some Chris Stapleton in there, and probably some Eric Church as far as the music genres go. Awesome. Maybe a little Post Malone if I feel like got to really hustle. But
favorite food? You got a favorite food?
A good steak is always top notch. If you get it done right, it's always good.
How's it cooked?
Medium rare.
Good answer. Favorite sports movie?
It's got to be Little Giants. I mean, with my last name, it's got to be Little Giants. Kevin O'Shea, especially being my dad, like they talk about that fictional story. I like to tell a joke in my classes that the reason I can become a teacher is because I live off the royalties from Little Giants in that movie. So it's got to be Little Giants. Show that every year in my class. Show it to our team, and it's a great one.
Favorite sport outside of football?
Golf. Gotta be golf.
Like it.
So I was a golfer in high school too. I like basketball.
Yeah.
I played basketball as well, but golf has got to be probably my favorite sport as far as outside of football.
All right, and finishing out with this, Coach, as we score a touchdown here, any final words about your upcoming New Prairie squad?
Oh, we're excited. We got obviously a brand new leader under center with, losing Reed is a big one for us. Obviously, he's a phenomenal player, and we wish him best of luck at NIU. But we're excited. We got some kids that are really working hard and really bought into what we're doing, and I'm excited to see them reap those rewards.
For Coach O'Shea, I'm Mike DeWine signing off here from New Prairie. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, hut.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.